Brutal.
Brutal, Paws of Fury, or Animal Raging Battle Story, as it was called in Japan, is a pretty crappy one-on-one fighter developed by Imagitech Design Incorporated. A developer known for some real stinkers, such as American Gladiators, Raiden on the Jaguar, and TNM Bass Tournament of Champions, and Snow White in Happily Ever After on SNES, to name but a few. However, saying that, Brutal Paws of Fury is one of their better games, and was quite impressive back in the day due to the fluid animation. Well, at least some magazines would have you believe. The first version was for the Mega CD, which saw a release in late 1993, but I'm not sure how accurate that date is. This Mega CD version contains 10 characters, 10 stages, and 2 play modes. Without a doubt, a lot of work was put into the presentation of this game, what with its full screen video, outtakes gallery, and tournament mode with story. Sadly, the whole game stinks of cheap rotting meat. I mean, the game is just so poorly designed in gameplay and layout. Take the options for instance. You need to enter a sub-menu to do anything. It is so slow and tedious. And how about this? We are playing a fighting game where you start with no fighting moves. Seriously, not one. To make matters even worse, the first move you are given is a useless taunt. You will get other moves awarded to you as you beat more and more opponents, but good luck with that. The AI is worse than Mortal Kombat for cheating. The CPU will always block your attacks and somehow becomes invulnerable if you clearly lay a hit on them while they're in the middle of an animation. What a load of shit this game is.
Sega. Hoi.
Mega Drive was next with a version released in November 1994. This version loses Karate Croc and Panther, leaving 8 characters left, but all 10 stages are here. The same 2 modes of play are also present, single player and versus. Interestingly, there are new voices in this version, but for some reason Foxy Roxy's voice was removed. Also removed are all the animated cutscenes, but let's be honest, that was hardly a surprise. As for the game, well, it's the same crap, but now seems even more broken. In one round, I took an enemy's energy down to practically zero with 3 moves, while in another, the AI jumped straight off a bridge to his death. December 1994 saw the SNES version get released worldwide. This release has the same character roster as the Mega Drive version, but loses one of the stages. You also can't do ring outs on the mountain area, which isn't going to please the cheap players. You know how people always say the SNES is slow? Well, I wonder if that's why the turbo nutter speed setting from the Sega versions was removed. Or is it just because it was ridiculous in the first place? The actual normal speed is slower too. This port was done by Eurocom, and it must be said that it is a better looking and sounding game than the Mega Drive version. What is odd is that you still learn extra moves, but if you already know how to pull them off, you can use all movesets from the very first round. I guess the guys at Eurocom thought having a fighting game where you start off with no moves was dumb, and rightly so. Software Sorcerers brought Amiga owners Brutal at some point in 1995. This is a straight port of the Mega Drive version, but surprisingly includes the 2 extra characters from the Mega CD version. Not that it matters much, because this version plays as you'd expect. Since the Amiga version is controlled by a single button joystick, the 3 different attack strengths, weak, medium and hard, are determined by how long the button is held down before releasing. And special moves are, well, next to impossible to pull off. In 1995, a slightly updated version of Brutal, titled About the Claw, was released for MS-DOS and the Sega 32X. This is the MS-DOS version. The story for this one goes like this. 4 years after the Paws of Fury tournament, the participants returned to the Brutal Island to once again compete for the match against Dalai Lama for the Belt of Heaven. The tournament is also Dalai Lama's way of testing the warriors, judging whom amongst them possesses the deepest warrior spirit. So yeah, I'm sure that helps the game be more enjoyable. On the positive side of things, this version now features 12 characters and 14 arenas, and the timing of the moves has been tightened up, and the nutter speed is back too, for those who like unplayable games. The Sega 32X version is very similar to the MS-DOS release in that it features 12 characters but now only 12 arenas instead of 14. The timing of the moves is bloody awful, with a massive amount of lag, plus just look at how the characters slide all over the arena. Not only that, but look at the low frame rate. This runs at 30 frames per second. What the f***? The only thing this has over the Mega CD original is the better use of colours. Everything else is worse, but that's not a surprise when the developer was Alternative Reality Technologies. Yep, the same piss poor developers that made such timeless turds as Technocop and Quarantine. Who ever would have thought such a shitty developer would go on to become Rockstar Toronto and make such hits as Red Dead Redemption 2. And let's take a look at all those versions of Brutal, Paws of Fury running side by side.